Fast forward now, Joe, to 8 years later, 1977. There's a play called Bleacher Bums that you co-wrote about the adventures of characters in the outfield at Wrigley Field. Dennis Franz was in it. Gary Sandy was in it. A lot of famous people. Talk about how that production materialized.
Well, it was a play that I conceived. I actually had come up with this idea. I was with this group called the Organic Theater in Chicago, and it was the end of the year, and all our grants had run out. So in other words, the money that we kind of used to put together plays had kind of run out. So I remember our director, Stuart Gordon, said, he called us all together and said, does anybody have an idea for a play that will cost us next to nothing? And I had been ruminating this idea of, because I've been going to a lot of Cub games, sitting in the cheapest seats in the bleachers, and I remember thinking, here's this team that's fairly mediocre at the time, you know, in the 70s there. And I'm thinking, yet the place is packed. We're all paying to get in here. If I can just get a 1% of these people to go see a play, what's the magic? Why are they, why are they here to following basically a team that doesn't close the deal?
Why are they so attractive?
Why are they so attractive? And then I realized what's going on around me, and it was almost as entertaining as what was going on the field.
Well, I think Harry would approve. I dedicate this one to all the Bleacher Bums, past, present, and future.
That's why I had this idea of, if we could capture this thing of these group of people who, they're so diverse. You got the rich guy, the poor guy, different ethnicities, different this, that. What brings them together
all
for
the people
this?
playing hooky from work and school.
Whatever it may be. So I thought, this is such a cast of characters. This will make for an interesting play. And so I brought it up as an idea. They all agreed this might be worth something. I said, let's all go to my section in the bleachers. You tell me if this is not a play. Ultimately created the play Bleacher Bums, which we opened that year in summer '77. It became a huge hit. We took it to New York City. To this day, we're in 2021 right now. I mean, the play still, I still get royalty checks from, places in Guam where maybe some army base has decided to do it in the summer, or some summer stock company will do it. So I'm very happy that worked out, that the play Bleacher Bums. So.
Is it fair to say that you laid the foundation for a man named Harry Carey that made the Bleachers and Wrigley Field's lifestyle on WGN for so many years?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I've laid it. I might have put a brick in that foundation, if nothing else.
A brick house.
Yeah, brick house, exactly. But yeah, and so we've even updated the play at various times and because Brick House was part of it in the original.
Oh, have you?
We brought Harry Carey in later kind of productions of it. But yeah, that was a wonderful experience, and so it lives on.
How much fun is it now for you, Joe, going back and being an established celebrity at Wrigley Field, throwing out the first pitch, having all the Cubs come out and get your autograph, singing the seventh inning stretch, and as a grown-up, what is that experience like? And is that perhaps the best environment, I'm talking about Wrigley Field, to be a celebrity in?
Yeah, I mean, well, I feel very blessed that way. I mean, because here I think back of when I was this little kid, here where I'm throwing, I don't know what year that was. My hair was still dark back then. So I've done it probably 15, 16 years, on and off, throwing out that first pitch. But yeah, that's a kid's dream, to be able to go out there, to be a fan and think, geez, wouldn't it be cool to be that guy? When you're a kid and you see somebody come out there wearing the jersey and throwing out the pitch. And to think that that's actually happened for me numerous times, and that I've gotten to know the owners and the managers and the players and the announcers. Yeah, as a baseball fan, there's certainly nothing better. I never take that for granted. I know that's kind of rarefied air. And so, yeah, it's a wonderful position to be in, and I'm forever grateful. It's one of the perks of being in showbiz.
Being you.
Being me.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's good to be me.
That's right. Now, since 2016, Joe, in your opinion, will the Cubs forever, as they say in Vegas, be playing with the house's money? Is your soul satisfied? Is all that's wrong been right in the world?
Personally,
so on and so forth?
Personally, mine is, because I have to think. I have to think of my mom and think it took her 100 years for the deal to get closed. So why should I be greedier than that? In other words, I'm not going to be critical. I'm not going to be jaded to the point of like, what's the matter? Why aren't they doing it again? Come on.
I couldn't agree more. My soul is totally satisfied.
I feel fortunate because for all we know, it could have gone on for another 100 years. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that was a special team, a special time. I mean, yes, God willing, and hopefully they're going to close the deal a lot sooner than another 80, 90 years from now. But if not, I'm good with it.
I would say that if they were going to win another World Series, what I would like to see would be a crosstown classic with the White Sox. Because what we know is there have been the Yankees versus the Mets, there's been the Cardinals
Right.
versus the Royals, even in interstate.
Right.
But nothing is as intense and polar opposite as
Right.
Cub fans and Sox fans. The two stadiums are 8.1 miles apart.
Right.
How amazing a spectacle, a passionate spectacle would that be?
Well, that's the final speech in the play Bleacher Bums. And I got that through Brickhouse because I asked Brickhouse, I said, when I interviewed him, I said, what's your dream? What's your dream as a Cub fan? And he told me his dream, and I incorporated it into the play. And it's our character, the character Greg, the blind character in the play. At the very end of the play, he basically says, it's the World Series. It's the Cubs versus the White Sox. It goes 7 games. We're in the 7th game. The bases are loaded. The Cubs are down by 3. They bring in Ernie Banks out of retirement. He hits a home run into my lap, and the Cubs win. You know,
How perfect.
and that was Brickhouse's dream, you know,
My
as
goodness.
a Cub announcer. And so of course we put that into play, and it became that character's dream, and it was perfect. I remember, and when we do performances of that, especially in Chicago, the audience would of course stand up and cheer just at the end of that speech.